Welcome back to another video of World of Warship Legends, and today we have a new campaign, new update, lots of things to cover. But for this video, let's take a look at the new weekly Havoc missions and how to get through them as quickly as possible. Now today we're going to be covering the week 1 as well as the heroic mode missions, and starting with the endurance trials. In week 1 we have 3 endurance trials to get through. Win 5 battles, earn 12,000 base XP, and then earn 5 million credits. Now those are all pretty high numbers compared to past endurance trials. The one interesting thing about this, at least as making of this video, which is Monday morning of the update, the endurance trials and the shakedown trials in the week 1 can be earned at the same time, which is a little unique. In the past, the shakedown trials have been locked by the endurance trials. And moving on to the shakedown trials, there's only 2 of them in week 1. First is to deal 2 million damage to enemy ships, and the second is to start 15 floods on enemy ships. Now I'm going to give you ship recommendations. The endurance trials can be completed in tier 3 to tier 7 or in legendary tier. You cannot combine legendary and non-legendary stats here, so it has to be either the lower level or legendary. And then for the shakedown trials, they can be completed in tier 4 to tier 7 or legendary ships, but it has to be completed in a standard battle. No AI battles allowed for this one. Just like in the past, we're going to give a recommendation of a premium and a tech tree ship to use at each tier. Starting with the endurance trials, I'm going to give you recommendations for tier 4 through tier 7. I'm going to suggest that people don't go into legendary tier for this simply because of the credits that you have to earn. It's extremely difficult to earn a lot of credits at legendary given to the service cost. So I'm going to just recommend you stay away from that one. Of course, you know, if you want to play legendary tier, you can do it. It's just going to take you a lot more games to complete these missions in legendary. Starting with tier 4. Tech tree ship, Königsberg, and then the premium Marblehead. Cruisers are in such a great place in this game right now. They're still one of the stronger classes, and I think it's the one to go with. Königsberg, you get a strong sonar, and then you also get some really punishing AP. Moving on to tier 5, we have the Dallas for the tech tree, and then one of the pound for pound best battleships in the game, California for the premium side. Both of these ships have the ability to carry a game, get you on the top spot of the leaderboard, getting high XP numbers, and also tier 5 tech tree is one of the best ways to make money. Moving on to tier 6, tech tree, North Carolina, 406 millimeter guns, some just phenomenal guns at that tier. They hit hard, and then on the premium side, I'm going to go with the Belfast. The smoke radar combo makes this ship extremely potent, and the tier 6 premium is the best and most economical way to build credits in a hurry. Especially if you throw on one of those epic credit boosters, you can be making upwards to 1 million credits per game if you have a win and you're at the top of your team. Finally, for tier 7, once again, sticking with the cruisers. Cruisers in such a great spot. So for the tech tree side, I'm going with the Cleveland. Again, needs to have radar. That's the key for me on this. And then on the premium side, you can't beat it, the Wichita. You could also say the Achika right here. Both ships are extremely strong. Long range radar and just extremely difficult to kill. I'm expecting these endurance trials will take at least, 10 games to play, just because all your games aren't going to be a win, so the credits is going to be the one that probably keeps you from completing them. However, like I said earlier, you're able to complete the shakedown and endurance trials at the same time in this update, which means once you get the wins and the credits, if you want to switch over, you can switch to a different class that will help you hit the shakedown trials, and we'll go over them next. Alright, so shakedown trials. This one, you have to get 2 million damage to enemy ships as well as 15 floods. So for me, if I'm trying to complete these at the same time, I'm going to be looking for a destroyer that has decently strong torpedoes, a decently high flooding chance, but then quick reload of the torpedoes. So for this one, going to give you examples from Tier 4 to Tier 7 and Legendary, and let's just get right into it. So for the text tree at Tier 4, Minakaze, Premium, Kamikaze. Tier 5, tech tree Fubuki, the Premium T61. Tier 6, tech tree of Akatsuki and the Premium of Z35. Now the T61 and Z35 might seem like unique choices here. I should make it clear that I'm using Blue Floria for these, and she gives it significantly quicker torpedo reload time. So what I'm basically, as you would a HE spammer with a cruiser, I'm looking to flood spam with these torpedoes. I'm tossing them out about every 25 to 30 seconds and making sure I space out both sets of torpedoes so that way I always have one going off, relatively soon. Moving to Tier 7 for the tech tree, I went with the Fantask. I think it's still one of the best out there. And then the only choice up until today, Tier 7 Premium, I'm going to go with the Udachi. I don't have enough experience with the two new destroyers. They might be better at this, but for right now, Udachi with a torp reload booster is absolutely the ship to go with. Legendary. Now, Legendary, if you have the Kleber, it is a great choice. You have 12 torpedoes on that thing, and they're reloading within 55 seconds with my build. Absolutely great choice. But as always, it's also very hard to beat the Shimakaze and the Wall of Skill. 15 torpedoes with high chance of flooding and really high yield damage. Those are absolutely punishing ships. Like most campaigns in the past, this is going to be a 5-week campaign. However, Wargaming does give us the option to complete the heroic effort missions and get it done a week earlier. In this update, we are looking at 4 different heroic medals, and they're difficult. They're a little bit more difficult than last update, and let's take a look at them here. So, heroic mission number 1. In one battle, earn 3,250 base XP. You have to do this in either, actually, since it's just one battle, it doesn't matter. You can do it legendary or down to tier 5. In the heroic mission number 2, we're looking at getting a Kraken, and that is just 1 Kraken medal is needed. So just one of those games, no matter what tier you're looking at, 5 to legendary. In heroic effort number 3, this one's going to be rough. Deal 210,000 damage to enemy ships in a single battle. And for this one, I think legendary is going to be the way to go. And then heroic number 4, we're looking at in one battle set fire 23 times to enemy ships. Absolutely huge number to hit. And that's going to be very, very difficult to get, I imagine. A lot of people were struggling with the 20 fires last mission. But I will kind of go through the ships I think are going to help you get there as quickly as possible. Starting with the 3,250 base XP game, I'm going to be going with either a tier 7 or legendary tier cruiser or destroyer. So for me, it's probably going to be the Lightning at the tier 7 or the Khabarovsk at the legendary tier. I think both of these ships have the ability to get in and dominate games. You're going to have to be able to get cap points, get defends. Both of them are decent gunboats. Khabarovsk's obviously a much stronger gunboat. And have the ability to move around the map in a hurry. Getting the Kraken, I think you can do this in just about any ship. It's going to be whatever ship you're most comfortable in, you're able to get the most kills in. I'm not going to make any specific recommendations here because each player is going to have their own feel here. Alright, heroic number 3, 210,000 damage in a single battle. Again, I would only stick to tier 7 and legendary on this one. For tier 7, I would be taking out a battleship. So I most likely maybe either the Georgia or Iowa. I like both of their damage potentials. Massachusetts would also be in there. But if I'm looking at legendary, and that's probably the right way to go with this one, the Conqueror is going to be my bread and butter for getting 210,000 damage. You can get burning damage, you can get real strong AP damage with the guns, and just phenomenal ship overall. Finally, on the last one, 23 fires. If you have the Wooster at legendary tier, I think it's going to be a great candidate. But for tier 7, I think there's a lot of ships that can go out and get this mission done. It's going to be a lot dependent on the matchmaking. So for me, the Kutuzov is going to be the ship I'll be using. But I think the Suzuya, the Cleveland, the Ochkov all have the potential to go out and get this mission completed. And it's all going to be just dependent on target selection and a little bit of luck with matchmaking. You're going to need a lot of battleships in the game that have a lot of health and the ability to catch fire several times. Alright, thank you all for tuning in. That's all we have for the week 1 efficiency guide. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them down in the comments below. I'd be happy to respond and answer any questions. If this is your first time coming to the channel, consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.